What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so, and today we're talking about the Arizona Cardinals, giving you a bit of a season preview because new regime, new head coach, and a new quarterback. Y'all ditched Josh Rosen. Kyler Murray is now your guy. And your coach, Cliff Kingsbury, how's his offense going to translate to the NFL? Well, we won't know that till it happens. But we could go ahead and speculate and project how Arizona will do this year. But before that, just want to say, channel, growing steadily. I'm loving it, and it's always much appreciated. So if you're new here and you like the content, go ahead, give me a subscription, be a bro, and give me a thumbs up. Helps me get discovered, and it's always much obliged. But let's go ahead. We got Kyler Murray. He is the focal point, the center of this offense. There's no way, and I mean no way, he's not the starter at the beginning of the year. You got Brett Hundley, but let's be serious. Let's be honest. It's not happening. It's Kyler Murray. In the backfield, he has a guy who's proved he could be a bell cow if they want him to be, David Johnson. But in this Cliff Kingsbury offense, we might be seeing more of those 4 to 5 wide receiver sets. So this is where David Johnson, his ability, his skills, they come perfectly gifted because he can be a good pass catcher. Now the depth behind David Johnson, not so great. Chase Edmonds, he was okay last year. You got TJ Logan, but not great. But I mean, like I said at the beginning, David Johnson can be a cowbell if you need him to. He's not they don't necessarily need him to be, but it's nice having that. Again, we don't know how this offense is going to look. Will they even run a backfield? They'll run a backfield, let's be honest. But going to a position that might not be frequently used, but I stand to reason that tight end, I think, will be used a lot in this offense, actually. Right now, I got Ricky Seals-Jones as the starter. He's kind of underperformed the last few years, but because, I mean, he kind of broke out on the scene. They were like, hey, this guy's got a lot of potential, has yet to achieve or at least fully realize that potential. They've brought in a lot of guys to challenge for this tight end spot, which tells me that tight end there will be a role for tight end in this offense, but a bigger role than we initially speculated. They brought in Charles Clay, who, you know, he had a good career in Miami, and in Buffalo was kind of whatever. So he comes to here, or he comes to the Arizona, comes to the desert to bring some leadership, some much needed leadership on that offense, as well as they have Max Williams, a little cast off from Baltimore, but they also drafted Caleb Wilson out of UCLA, who was a big receiving threat there at UCLA. So this tells me that they are going to be using tight ends quite frequently. Now, looking at the rest of the pass catchers here, I mean, you got Larry Fitzgerald. He's going to probably be Murray's favorite target. There's not a more seasoned or veteran receiver in the league than Larry Fitzgerald. Man, I love me some Mr. Fitzgerald. He's probably going to be playing a lot in the slot. They'll kick him outside time and time again. But I think ideally your outside receivers will be Christian Kirk, who kind of played all right last year given the circumstances. And then Andy Isabella, who I loved coming out of Massachusetts. Dude's going to be a deep vertical threat, but he can do a lot more than that. He's very smooth in his routes. So I think ideally he will be the other outside starting receiver. You also have Hakeem Butler in the fold here. They got him in the 4th round. I mean, a lot of teams, just based on his raw talent alone, his athletically given gifts, that he could have been a first-round player, you know, and there was talks that he would be. Ended up falling to the 4th round, and Arizona snagged him. They also have Keyshawn Johnson there, as well as they brought in Kevin White. They also have Farrell Cooper, but he's going to be more of a special teamer, so we ain't got to worry about him on offense. Now, the Achilles heel, the weakness on this offense will be the line. The line underperformed terribly last year. It was pretty bad. Mason Cole, their center, coming into the second year, he was probably the most consistent player on the line last year. Justin Pug, I love Pugs, but he played very well. Got himself a pretty good contract after playing well in New York. He's been reliable It's been average, so I guess consistent at least. But we know he has the potential to play much better. Marcus Gilbert traded him from the Steelers, or got him from the Steelers. So hopefully provide a little more consistency on that right side of the line. J.R. Sweezy, again, a veteran body. And then DJ Humphries, who's just kind of been a first-round bust, has never really lived up to that first-round billing. But as far as that, I mean, there's a few guys they have back there. Max Garcia, AQ Shipley on the line, but it's the line can get better. That's probably going to be something they will address in next year in the offseason, free agency, in the draft. But as it stands now, this offense will probably be held back because going to be a lot of pressure on Kyler Murray. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the defense here, because this defense looks pretty good. They do have veteran leadership there in Terrell Suggs. They also got Brooks Reed, probably going to be rotating a bit there at that hybrid linebacker position. Chandler Jones, they could play him off the line, or they could have him put his hand in the dirt. So you got excellent pass rush coming from there. But then on the inside, you got Corey Peters, who's been a very good nose tackle for this team. They got Rodney Gutner as his backup, which is solid. They got pretty good line depth. I think your starters here, and honestly, these guys are interchangeable. Darius Philon and Zach Allen. These guys can play anywhere from outside of the guard to outside of the tackle if you need them to be. I think more so Zach Allen. The dude played like 7 million snaps there at Boston College. He's an excellent run defender, and I think his pass rushing skills is a bit appreciated or undervalued. I would say. You also have Robert Nkemdiche, but I don't think he'll be on the team much longer. He hasn't really seen the field, and when he has, he hasn't really produced. So I think that's kind of not really a talking point. At linebacker, I think I've read this up. I've read that they want to keep a standard, your two outside corners and your safeties. They want to bring in that traditional 3-4 look. So this tells me that they want more coverage, more pass coverage ability in their linebackers. So they brought in Jordan Hicks, who's been a very quality linebacker. Went on the field, he's been really banged up throughout his career. And then Hassan Reddick, who's, he's kind of been shuffled all over the place on this defense, but he can be he can be really good in coverage. He's very athletic, very fast. So I can see him seeing the field a lot more, and he played very well down the stretch, as well as this other guy, Buda Baker, who played very well, and you'll probably see him in the box. They tried putting him at corner, but I think strong safety is kind of the perfect role for him. You still have DJ Swearinger. Oh man, I can't pronounce my INGs. But my boy DJ here, he's reliable at this, and it's weird. He's still pretty young, but a reliable veteran at this point in his career. Played very well with Washington. Patrick Peterson's gonna be missing the first, I believe it's 4 or 6 games of the season. I'm actually gonna look that up real quick. But regardless, he's gonna be your starting receiver, Your starting cornerback for a majority of the year, barring injury. And the guy's just a stud. He is just a stud. And he will have Brian Murphy probably 6 games. He is in fact suspended 6 games. But he'll have Brian Murphy playing that cornerback 2 role. He was probably, I believed he was the best zone corner in the draft. I think it was a great pick in the second round, or to open up the second round. He probably won't, even with Peterson out, he probably won't take that receiver or cornerback 1 role. They'll probably put Robert Alfred there, who's kind of been there before. He's a good, reliable veteran. Had a pretty off year last year, but everyone has a bad year once in a while. But there's not too much depth behind those guys. at cornerback. I mean, they bring back Brian Williams, and they have Tremaine Brock on the roster. So there's a little bit left to be desired. I think my boy DJ might be on his way out in the next couple years with the pick of Deontay Thompson. I definitely think he will find himself somewhere in this defense, whether it be at the free or the strong, because the dude is very talented. He's a very smart player. Really, he only fell into the 5th round because there was knocks on his speed that, you know, he could see the reason he has such great vision. He's so intelligent that he was able to make up for his lack in speed by being able to read the play before it all goes down. So, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with having a player like that, you know what I'm saying? But the defense overall looks pretty good, not bad. I think there's, you know, maybe some depth issues in the secondary, but nothing I think is going to really hold this team back. However, let's take a look at their schedule, because it's a tough schedule. It is a tough one for Arizona. You're having to face like the Ravens, you got the Panthers, and then you play in the same division as the Seahawks, 49ers, and the Rams. It's going to be tough. And on top of that, you do have games against the Saints, Falcons, Steelers, Browns. I mean, this is going to be a rough season. This team, I think, will be competitive, especially since we don't know what we're getting as far as the offense. How's that going to look? But on paper, they look pretty good. But again, tough schedule. The team's not there yet. I still think they're a year away. I mean, realistically, I think this team can maybe max out at 6 or 7 wins. That's their ceiling. I got them going 4-12, but that gets them a top 5 pick in the draft. That gets them maybe some of that offensive line, especially tackle help that they need so desperately. So, we'll see. I think regardless, the Cardinals will be fun to watch, especially to see what just this offense may look like. But that's it for the video. Do all the YouTube stuff. Always much appreciated. Check me out on Twitch, Broshmo Gaming. I do it Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.